to the Weaverbirds. This is week 5 of our podcast. I'm Cathy from Lazykate Textiles, and this is Heather from Inquisitive Weaver. And we come here every fortnight to talk about the things that we're making and the things that are interesting us, whether that be spinning or weaving or knitting or dyeing or any of the fibre arts. And so we're very interested in what's interesting you and what's on your needles or on your loom at the moment. So please feel free to message us and tell us what's going on in your life. We've started a Facebook group and a Ravelry group. So if you want to come and join us on there to have a chat, we're a little group at the moment, but it's growing every day. And so for whatever your interest is, we've got some sheep breeders on there, we've got some knitters, weavers, and you're very welcome to come along and join us. So here we are again, Heather. What's been going on in your life the past fortnight?
I've been busy, so I don't feel like I've accomplished very much, but I know you've been busy as well. But I have warped up my loom. I haven't threaded the loom, but I have put the warp on. I do it on my own, and there's this great method that Jane Stafford teaches on her guild, where she puts heavy books on top of the warp chain, and then you can just stand and crank on, and that's the method that I use. And to be honest, I get a beautifully tensioned warp doing that now. So I am sticking to that. So the warp is on, and I just have to thread, and then I can get weaving. But I've been playing around with trying to decide, I've got enough warp thread for 3 towels, so I'm trying to decide what my overshot is going to be. So I have some options, which I'll show you. I'm thinking 1 towel is definitely going to be this blue, because I purposely bought this. So this is just 8/2 cotton from Venne. Then the second one, which I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do, is this orange cottolin, which is again 8/2. I'll probably hold the 8/2 doubled to make it thicker. And then it's the third tea towel, which I'm a bit unsure what to do. I like the idea of using something a bit textured. So I have some boucle yarn I got from Jane Stafford's website. And I've got a few colours, but I was thinking possibly using a green boucle.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So that's one possibility. But I did go back and check on my flat recently, and I found I think I bought it from Woolfest a few years ago, it's Copperfield yarns by Oliver Twists, and it's this cotton slub.
Wow.
But it goes from like greens to pinks. But I'm not sure whether that'll just make because you can see it's not bright, and you can see all the other colours I've picked are quite bright. I wasn't sure whether it'd make quite a drab tea towel. So I'm not sure. I really like the idea of the texture. I really do like the texture, but I'm not sure. What do you think?
Will you do a sample? What will you do?
But I might do a tiny bit of a sample, and then I might unpick it, because I don't think I've got enough warp on here to actually sample properly. So I'm just going to have to do a little row and see what I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So
I like those bright colours though. I do like the blue and the orange and the green together. I think that'll be absolutely lovely. It'll all work.
You know what? I really want to do orange. I'm really into orange at the moment. I've been playing around with I think, you know what? It's summer and we've had a few hot days. I know it's gotten colder now, but I'm ready for autumn now.
Oh no! Don't wish that on us.
Yeah, it's my favourite season, autumn. So.
Wow. Well, I haven't done any weaving at all, so that's my goal for the next fortnight. I'm going to try and continue with the 4-shaft loom, but I also fancy doing a little bit of rigid heddle weaving, because it's just so simple, and I enjoy it so much. So that's what I'm going to do over the next fortnight. So with the 4-shaft loom, I really have to concentrate, but I can do the rigid heddle weaving with my eyes shut, and I really enjoy it. And I warp up the same as you do and have done for all the classes.
Yeah.
I always warp up on my own with books, big books, to hold the the warping plates, and it really works, doesn't it?
It really does. I was amazed. I was very impressed when I started doing that. What are you thinking of putting on the rigid heddle?
I don't know. I've got a lot of wool to use up, because what my plan is kind of to work my way through the yarns that I have. I did do a little bit of dyeing this week. I had a look at the colours for autumn. I can't believe that we've said it twice in 20 seconds. The autumn and winter colours, and there's quite a few like sort of rusty reds, deep rust, and a lighter rust. And so we played around with some colours, and that was one that I really like. So might have a mess around with those with a nice lighter grey. But I also did a little bit of dyeing with some fibre.
Yeah.
And this is what I dyed.
Gorgeous.
So I mean, I'm just a sucker for purples, especially with dyes. I don't particularly wear them, but with dyes, that deep maroon and the purple and the lilac, and I love it. And so I was really pleased with that one. So I might do a little bit of spinning with that one, and then this I put some blues in with it as well. Because one of the other colours was like they haven't said cobalt, but it was a bit like a cobalt blue and then a midnight blue, and so that one as well.
That's really
so I might have a bit of a go spinning with those, but mainly in the last fortnight I've been looking to try and work out how I can do my some of my workshops online. So this is like, I mean, people talk about a learning curve, but this is, I mean, it's painful how much I've got to learn to do it. But I've dipped my toe in, and one of the courses is written. Yeah. And so hopefully it's just finding a platform that works, and finding a young person who will come and help me to do all the techie stuff. So that's my plan really so far. So it's a slow progress with it, and it means that I haven't necessarily got a whole load to show on the podcast, but there is things going on behind the scenes.
That's really exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, I hope that's the way that I can carry on working in some way. Yeah. It's the only way at the moment, and I see that a lot of people are doing it and making a success of it. So you know, there's a place for everybody, isn't there? And hopefully.
And we all have to adapt now, because you know everything has changed quite drastically, and I think businesses do have to change to the new social distancing and keeping everyone safe.
Yeah, and if you're at home, and I mean, I've done a whole load of online courses. I've done embroidery and all kinds of different courses from home, and I absolutely love them. And we've done crafts. We both talked about it the other week, didn't we? We've done crafts and blueprint classes, and they're all going to go, aren't they? So, there is a place there for these online courses if we can feel more comfortable. And before the lockdown happened, using Zoom was just like, I wouldn't have felt very comfortable at all. But carrying on and using Zoom has helped me to get more comfortable with it. So I'm definitely going to give it a go. So that's mainly what I've been doing with my time, has been writing courses. So, there we go. All good fun. Oh, also, I did talk about the fleece, didn't I? The fleece that I had been preparing, and so I've spun 2 skeins, and this is the one that I did first. Yeah. Now I don't know. I know that a few people on the Weaverbirds group that have bought fleeces as well, haven't they? And so this is my first one. And carding, because I've only done carding for blending, really. This is my first carded skein. Now I don't know if you can see that. I'll probably take a picture of it so you can see it properly. But it's a very it's lumpy and bumpy. And the method I used, it was short draw worsted spinning for that. And so it's got a lot of texture in there. It's still, it does need to be washed. It's still quite lanolin-y. And then this was the second one. So with this one, took much more care over the carding, and it shows in the skein. Also, I did this long draw. Sorry, go on.
You use hand carders?
Yeah, I used hand carders. So I did take it into the boat to do like card in the evening. I was watching the telly, but it just ended up to be loads of fibre everywhere, and so I had to bring it all back. But I think that one is much better. And so also I really enjoyed long draw spinning. It's not something I've paid a huge amount of attention to, but I love it. It's really good. And so if we could get top and also long draw spinning, if somebody could work that out so that it would be successful, then I would do that all the time. There we go. So that's 2 skeins.
Was it faster long draw?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And although it's still it's not completely consistent, there are a few slubs and lumps and that, which I don't mind. I still really happy with how the spinning's turned out on it. So I've got 2 more fleeces to work through there. That's going to take me a long time. So what about knitting? How have you been going with your knitting?
Well, I haven't done anything apart from socks. I don't know, I'm just going to admit that socks make me happy right now, and it's fine. So I have finished off my pair of Bryony socks out of your hand-dyed BFL.
Oh, love them.
Yeah, and I did my afterthought heel, which it isn't my favourite type of heel, but I successfully did it, and my second sock is much better in terms of like holes. That there wasn't many. I managed to keep it
right.
But yeah, they fit really nicely, and yeah, I'm very happy with them.
Lovely.
I know this, I keep saying like raspberry apple ice cream, but they're really summery, and I just feel they're happy socks, very happy socks. And then I cast on a second pair of socks, and this is it. I finished one sock and I'm up to the heel on the second sock, but this is by Stripey Cat Yarns, and this is in Grellow Cat at Midnight. So it's a self-striping sock with I bought the sock set with a contrasting colour for the heel on the cuff.
I absolutely love those.
Oh, thanks.
They are really beautiful.
I did a new heel. So I've never done this type of heel before. I've either just done like the heel flap and gusset with the slip stitches on the heel flap, and this one was a short row heel, and it was really quick to knit. I found it easy, and I really like the shaping, and I mean I managed to make it fit my foot easily as well. So yeah, I'm going to stick with this. And this is the book that I had bought myself a few months ago, and it's called Sock Architecture by Laura Neal. And I just had a look through at the different heels and stuff, and I found the heel, and I actually used, if I quickly find the pattern for you, here it is. Oh, arithmophobia. So this podcast has made me realize how bad at pronouncing words. Okay, but I didn't copy the pattern for the sock. I just copied the heel. So I'm very happy with the sock, and I'm not far off finishing the second one. And then the next sock that I am going to cast on, the pattern is coming out on Saturday, and it's called Mountain Mama Socks by Emma Jane Knits. And so I've chosen, I'll put a picture of the sock in, and then I'll show you my colorway. So I've been playing around with different colorways for a few weeks now of my stash that I've got, and this is the colorway that I've come up with. So it's going to start off with the white at the top, and then you get like a mountain coming in, and so I'm going to put this as the mountain, and then it goes back to the white, and then the main colour of the sock is going to be this, I don't know what's called, like sandy kind of orange colour. But the yarn is by Mr. B of Bird Street. And so this one is called Inkwell, this is Kestrel, and this one is Tannery. So I'm very excited to cast this sock on. It was a collaboration between Stress Knits, I think, because she sent some of her yarn, I think, or some of her yarn was used anyway in the sock pattern. Used specifically, a colorway was called the Mountain Mama. So I think that's what it's based on. So yeah, I thought it was it's going to be, because it's colour work, it's going to be the first time I've ever done colour work. Maybe not the first time ever. Casting my mind back, I did try it once before and decided I didn't like it. But I'm going to try it again. And hopefully I'll be okay at it. So.
Well, I think it's lovely. You sent me a picture of the socks the other day, didn't you? And I think the socks are lovely. But those colours together, I just think they're absolutely beautiful. I wish I had them myself. I'll look at that. Lift it up again. It's just perfect. They're gonna look amazing. I can't wait to see them.
So. I'm really surprised because this wasn't the colorway I decided, and then I'd randomly recently just bought this yarn, and I was putting it away in my little stash because I don't really own any 4-ply. I've just been making my stash since lockdown, and so yeah, and I've just put it on top of the pile, and I was like, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, very exciting.
That's absolutely lovely. Really nice. But I've been working my way through my sock.
Yeah.
So I'm that far now, and it's all going well. Heel in the proper place, and no drop stitches. So I'm just gonna carry on, but I'm not as fast as you.
What colour yarn are you using?
Well, it's one of mine, and I cannot remember. That's called Albert, that first one, and this one I think is called Colquitt. Yes, that's Albert, which I really loved dyeing. But I think that there are so many dyers there now. If I call an end to my dyeing days, there's so many dyers out there who are so talented. There's just no end of choice, is there? And just the way that people are supporting the indie dyers at the moment, I think is fabulous. We need to keep buying and building up our stashes to support them.
I know. I didn't have any 4-ply because I'm like, what am I going to knit with 4-ply? I had a little bit for some weaving that I'd used it, but no, I've got a few now which I need to use up for socks, but I'm going through my stash as quickly as I've been buying it, so
that's just being at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell you what I did do, which I forgot, it's just seeing your book, is I ordered a book online that saw somebody, it came up on my Instagram feed. I'll just have a look. It's a weaving book. Okay. It's called Favourite Scandinavian Projects to Weave.
I've got that. I feel like they've it. Yeah, it's because I've got mine. I can't remember what it's called, but it came up on my feed as well. And someone had put a picture up, and it was like the net curtains, like the lace curtains inside the book. And a conversation that we had ages ago, and I said I think it was with you, or it might have been the Weaverpool, and I wanted to make some curtains for my craft room at home.
Oh yeah.
And I'd chosen the colour, and it was the exact pattern, but my name is like Scandinavian Weaving. But the cover of that book that I'd seen on Instagram was different, but
Oh wow. So they've just revamped it.
Yeah, I think
so. I've ordered it anyway, so I'm looking forward to getting that. Because I do think it's good to have some inspiration, isn't it, as well as...
It's a really nice book. I like it. If it's the same book. Yeah. Well, that's exciting.
Oh, good. Yeah, looking forward to it. So other than that, that's where I'm up to. So for the next fortnight, so what's your goals for the next fortnight?
I've got some spinning to show.
Oh, sorry.
So I've got I've just been playing around with my little electric e-wheel nano, which I joined the Kickstarter like 2 years ago, and then I received it a year ago. And I I'll be honest, I did not like it. I was really...
No, I remember.
But I thought I would give it a go and play around with it in lockdown. So I bought a base and a battery that fits inside the base, which weights it down quite well. And I've played around with the tension, and I've got the tension working a lot better. And I everything that I've tried to spin on it has been underspun. So I've been really disappointed with it. Apart from, I think I've finally mastered spinning on it. It took me a while, and I don't know why it took me a while, because I know people really love it, and I feel bad that I didn't like it, but I do like it now. I am happy with it now. But this is what I managed to spin. So this fibre was a Christmas present a few years ago. I got a sample box of spin drones from my dad, and it just had lots of little sample packets in. So this one is blended top, and it was called Rainbow Muddle. And so they look quite bright, but they were quite muted in the packet. But so this is merino wool. This is, I'm going to mispronounce this as well now, Manx Lotan wool, and tussar silk. But
okay,
it's the finest I've ever spun, I think. And so I think this comes out, somewhere between a lace weight and maybe in some places where I've gone a bit thicker as a 4-ply. But it's really colourful, and, I like it. I really like purples and gold colours and turquoise. So I'm very happy with it. And I am still spinning on my little nano.
It's got that autumnal gold in it as well. That's there, isn't it?
Yes, autumnal gold is definitely one of my favourite colours. So I was thinking, I'm going to use this in weaving because it's fine enough to go with all my kind of weaving threads that I've got. But then just before, I was like, I could pair it with some mohair, because pairing with mohair has been quite popular, I've noticed on Instagram. So if I paired it with a mohair, it probably will be like a 4-ply. And what I could do is make some shorty socks, because my yardage on this is pretty damn good. I've got like 87 yards, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was thinking I could do contrast, like a white cuff, heel and toe, so I wouldn't need that much yarn for the sock body, and pair it with a white mohair or something like that. I thought,
very nice.
Yeah, and make a sock out of it. So I thought that might be nice. But
I need more socks.
I do. You know what? I barely have any socks.
I think you should have a sock giveaway.
Yeah, I should do. I have I know I sent you a picture of this, but since I've been at my dad's, I say I found, but I didn't know about it. This little chest of drawers that my mum made, and she painted it with some folk art painting, and she signed it. I saw it. She did it in 1996. I've decided that is my little box of socks, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm working towards filling it up. And so far, I have got, because I brought back some other socks that I'd already knit in from my flat last year. And so I think I've got, 14 pairs of socks in it now that I've knit.
Wow. Well, do you know what? That's interesting, isn't it? Because what a lovely memento for you to keep of your mum as well. But if for things like that, to actually date them, sign them and date them, I don't know whether other people do that, but I never would. And yet, what an important thing to be able to do. And that's a really good nudge.
Yeah.
Things like that we make.
Yeah, because I was talking with my dad, and we were like, when did she do it? And I was like, I don't know. And then I saw the little writing, and I was like, wait, it says 96. So I would have been 6 then. So
that's lovely.
It's lovely.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
So that's all my spinning. I have started a new project. I don't know if anyone's seen in a previous episode, and I was showing how to make a bat into slightly more roving like. and that is the fibre, that I am spinning on my little nano. So hopefully I'll have that to show sooner or later. So
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down now the things that I say I'm going to do, because last time I did say the things I was going to do and I never wrote it down. So so then I've got a record of it. So I'm going to not finish off because it's going to take a long time, but the tea towels, and get those done. What else did I say? Oh, I'm going to do some rigid heddle weaving.
Yeah.
This.
God, they're so nice. That colour combo is just so beautiful.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at some, if you could recommend some really nice dyers for fibre. I'd like to get something with a bit of silk in or something, because what you've spun on the nano there, you can see the sheen on it.
Yeah.
So who would you suggest for
with
fibre?
So some of the ones with silk that I bought from, and some of my stash, is actually from Felt Studio UK. Bin Jones.
She's a big company, isn't she?
Yeah. Spin Jones on Etsy, which is this. She does some beautiful fibre which has got like silk in as well, but they're not hand dyed. They are
blended.
They blended.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hand dyed Hilltop Cloud, maybe. I've definitely bought.
I shall have a look. I do like the blended ones. I have ordered blended fibres before from World of Wool. And I do like them, but you don't really know what you're going to get, do you? You think it's going to look a certain way, and it's a bit hit and miss at times.
See, I started off when I started spinning, and I was mainly on like hand-dyed fibre, and then I've shifted into blended fibre, and now before lockdown, I'm trying to spin through my stash, so I've got a lot of blended stuff to spin through, but I really want to go back to some hand-dyed, because I was watching when I was signed up to the School of Sweet Georgia, and Welford Pearls, I can't remember her name now. She has
Sarah, isn't she?
Might be. We'll put that in, but she has some classes on there, so it's like spinning a jumper, which I want to do.
Yeah, I saw that.
Spinning socks, and she was using in some of the cases like hand-dyed fibre, and the colorways that were coming out there was really beautiful. And with the blended top, you get something very consistent, which is what I was wanting, and which is why I'd been buying it previously. But now, after I watched that, I was like, I just want the dyed fibre to get all that colours and the self-striping, and so so I think in the future I'm going to go back to buying hand-dyed as well, or just at least.
I think it's finding a dyer who is like sort of on your wavelength.
Yeah, isn't
it? That's what you need to find, and I think that's what we're missing, isn't it? With fibre festivals this year, we haven't got that. But Woolfest are having a virtual sort of like Woolfest online, aren't they? Woolfest would have been at the end of this month, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So that's worth looking at, and I think there's a group you can join as well, which might be worth putting in the information, so that we can find people to spend more money on.
Love it. I'm trying to save money. I've spent too much.
No.
It's because of lockdown. I'm like, I need something to look forward to. So I'll just
and it can't always be alcohol, can it?
No. Drinking too much. So
have a good week, and so for everybody to please come and join us on the Weaverbirds group, and if you recommend a podcast and you enjoy ours, please let your friends know about us. We'd love to build up our community of spinners and weavers. And come and join. It's an open group at the moment. Depends how long we all stay well behaved for. Everybody's welcome.
Brilliant. Yeah.
All right, and I'll see you in a fortnight.
Bye.